The government has made a commitment to rehabilitate Mbare Flats, among them the Matapi and Matererini, to improve residents' living conditions. Our crew visited some of the flats yesterday to get a first-hand look into the living conditions.
In the heart of the city, there's a community that's popularly known for its trade. This is the Mbare community. It's filled with fathers, mothers, and children, but it's been feeling forgotten lately because of its living conditions and the things they've had to experience. We are here today to explore what they've been going through and all the challenges that they've been facing.
Every year, I renovate. I paint what I say, but Zakazongotanga kusa renovate kwa. Rupa katanga kuchika bishire kuti kana mabathrooms edu zvakatanga kubiwa zvimabrazo zvese zvanga zviri munomu zvese zvimapipe zvanga zviri munomu zvimagalvanize vanhu vakatanga kubawa chinisa scrap so izvino kurarama kwada kuita ndekuti masinki medu like mublock rinori ndeme kuti one tape iyo ndiri kubuda mu A ndo yakusupply kubva mu ABC.
Mbare residents often feel misunderstood and judged due to other communities' perceptions of them.
Vanhu vanotozongoipisa zvese vachiona fanike ukatongoona kunze uko uchiona masewage kuseri unobva watoona semukati macho. Indakatomboya neshamwari yangu kuno ndauya nayo ndatopinda nayo kuno ikatotaura ikatoti neshamwari ko mukati zvamutori right saka kunze uko ndokuda kutongogadzirwa chi but chinhu munongoziva chinhu chisiri chako chinonetsa kuti uchibate.
We visited some of the residents to get first-hand the conditions they live in.
Dzimba dzedu dzatigere dzinedzi mahosteri kunoku itori imba yese yakakwana kitchen dining bedroom ndo maconditions atigere anayo kuti toite kadivide bedroom dining kitchen apa.
Family setups vary, and according to council, there are about 30,000 adults in the Mbare Flats, which were originally built for bachelor accommodation, and their biggest challenge is the sewer system.
Rino iri block rine dzimba 29 per floor. One imba average inenge ine 8 kana 7. Vamwe vanoshayawo mune vanhu 10 because amene nababa nevanawo 3, vamwe amene nababa nevanawo 2, mune vanhu 10 kana 15 mu one room.
So what you see behind me is the plumbing situation at these flats. You find that a block has 26 rooms with an average of about 5 to 6 or 7 people per family, and they all share these communal toilets and bathrooms.
Toilet yatoshandisa ndofunga iyi one chamber inoshanda yekuti block rese nevana techida kugara pachemba iyoyo tese vakadzi vakuru vese vari muno muhosteri. Varume vanoshandisa futi one toilet inoshanda mublock rese. Iro rino block revenue rakatarisa kurodhugo kuti vanhu vese vakuenda kwamutoko kwamurehwa kwamutani vanenge vachingona rakutonzi mosi yatunya.
Some even resort to relieving themselves on the staircase, a clear indication that something needs to be done. Authorities have proposed a major overhaul of the creaking infrastructure, which could bring relief to residents.
The plan, for instance, for Mbare is that we build apartments that are adequate to take out, say, from one block, move them into a new block, and attend to the old block. The structural integrity of those structures is okay. It's only the plastering, the painting, the electrical works, the ablutions. We have to upgrade those from singles.
However, the plan has been met with skepticism from some residents.
Asbude notindenda kukwira bhazi kuya pabasa saka ina angwa muribo ngabvisa
kutobva mutoenda kupi toendeswa kupi kwatingaendeswe zvinhu zvamunoita sei nazvo ndochitakura nei vachivaka mamwe mafrats vovaka mafrats ozoti vanhu chiende munogara kwakati.
On the other hand, some residents are not entirely opposed to the idea.
Tochaitongo toda hurumende yatitsvagirwa kana ground chairo chero kuti vambotipawo kana pekugara pakanaka toenda nemhuri dzedu tonogara mombosara akozumuka mari tiri kubhadhara but musha munoona kai.
Discussions and plans to rebuild the Mbare Flats have been ongoing for years. And without meaningful action and genuine community engagement, the Mbare Flats will continue to embody the challenges of neglect, leaving residents in a state of uncertainty about their living conditions. These Mbare Flats may be worn down, but the spirits that live behind these walls remain unbroken. And all they hope for are just habitable living conditions. The hope is that this is actually going to be resolved and then they can continue to live in harmony. Wazanai Sansole, ZTN Pride.
So what I'm okay, like I was just thinking, just listening to what Wads and I was talking about and the whole story, would it be such a bad thing to just get everybody out, like, you know, find a spot for everyone, build temporary residence there or whichever, and completely eradicate and start again? I know it may take like a long time, but if you put your mind to it, would it really take a long time?
No, I think I don't know about completely burning them down.
No,
or bringing them down.
because
Not
think
burning
about
them
it.
down. It sounds.
Think about it. Think about it though, because okay, you're going to fix a certain portion of the plumbing system, say, and it's probably going to be on the building. What about underground? What if that is completely also very bad?
I think we need obviously the experts to come in to have a look at it
Yeah.
and decide how much can be retained.
Yeah.
Because my major concern will be like, all right, if we're talking about so many families being in that space, where do they go? Do we have a plan? I love what they did with the Mbare market. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of intentionality that's starting to happen around Mbare, and I think it's because of the history that we've seen with the cholera outbreaks. I think we had the stories about bed bugs, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of knowing issues around the Mbare Flats, and there's so much rich history as well. I mean, we're talking about the heritage-based curriculum. I think Mbare, in terms of its contribution,
Yeah.
culturally, economically as
Yeah.
well, you know, not only I think it's one of the biggest drivers of the informal market. So
Yeah.
if you remove the community in that flats and we relocate them to another space, what does that do for the economic hub?
But is
that is the Mbare market that sort of leans into that ecosystem. I'm not saying it
But
shouldn't
then
happen,
without,
but I think there
without
needs to be
change,
Yeah.
though, like without change, because sometimes you say, well, it's like upatirira something that's not working. Sometimes you let it go and, you know, do other things that will work. But I do understand, like
I don't dispute that, but I'm just saying I think we just need to have an intentional
plan.
an intentional phased out. I think I would prefer a phased approach
Okay.
to say, all right, we're starting with Matapi,
Yeah,
and
okay.
with Matapi, the primary thing that we're going to focus on is, for me, the main concern is improving sanitation.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know,
That's what's
the story
important.
about feces and not enough toilets and whatever. I think that has to be the entry point.
And
Primary, and then you can start. You looked at some of the interior spaces that are there. They don't look so bad,
Yeah.
but aesthetically it looks horrible. I know a couple of years ago we had those artists coming in and painting murals around the whole. I think that sort of gave it a.
We still have some guys who are actually doing it now this year who came in.
So I'm saying that helps in terms of instilling pride.
Right.
Because I think sometimes, from an aesthetic point of view, if you look at it and it looks dirty, I think your motivation to keep it clean, you'll be like,
It's like
but you know, whether
awesome.
it's applying a fresh coat of paint, or making sure that there's clean water supply, or making sure that, you know, we revamp the toilets. That's, you know, people stop doing feces on the stairs and
That was looking-
all that. So yeah, I think let's have a conversation. Are you from Mbare? What is your talk? What is your thought? What are your thoughts on this? Did you grow up there? You know, what is your relation to that? Are you in civil engineering? Are you in town planning? What do you think? And I think maybe we'll also continue having these
discussions,
in lies and with our producers in terms of, you know, bringing in experts who can come and share ideas, because that's what we love to do.
Yeah.
To not only shed a light on what is happening or some of the issues around the spaces that we work and live in, but also then coming up and saying, you know what, this is what we did. I know last week, I think you had a wonderful sit down with Crispin and Mike around
Yes.
artificial intelligence and education, and that was insightful in terms of the information we were able to just learn, so that even when we engage other people, we now have a bit of more knowledge and
around that area.